A great warrior, a smart strategist, and an invincible conqueror that sent his armies across one-third of the world. From humble upbringings to the greatest warlord history has ever known, Genghis Khan brought the steps under one rule with his ruthlessness and cunning. But how exactly was he able to do it? How did he unite such a vast area of warring tribes and march them across the globe? Later to be known as Genghis, Temujin was born in the year 1162 AD. From the start of his life, he was subject to hard times. At the age of 9, his father was poisoned and his family banished from the tribe. It was up to Temujin and his brothers to look after his mother and survive the wild steppes of Mongolia. And survive they did. In fact, it was during this period that Temujin's mother taught him about the nature of the Mongols, the warring factions, diplomacy, and methods in which one might make allies. But it would take young Temujin many years before he gained the title of Genghis Khan, or universal ruler. The first sparks of his greatness and reputation were brought to life when at the age of 15, he was captured by a neighboring tribe. He managed to escape with the help of a friend and swore to be never put in that situation again. Soon after that, his wife, Borte, was captured by his arch-enemies, the Merkit. Temujin led a raid into their lands to save her from death, and it was the Merkit that would later become the final hurdle before he could ascend the throne and thus be known as Genghis Khan. It was only in 1206 that Temujin had accomplished the unimaginable. He had conquered, united, or vanquished the tribes of Mongolia and was crowned Khan of all its people. This is when he set his gaze outside the borders of his own lands and towards the overlords, the land of Jin in northern China. Between 1206 and 1227, Genghis Khan conquered China, the lands of the Middle East, and Eastern Europe. What was most amazing of it all was the way in which he was able to keep rebellions from uprising as he moved on from land to land. Genghis was ruthless, decisive, and a visionary. But above all, he possessed an intelligence and foresight that others in his time did not. He had a focus on organizational structures within his realms so that his army would always be supplied and fed. Where he saw technological advancement in siege warfare or gunpowder, he used that knowledge to better his own people. And of the new lands he ruled, he was very tolerant of their beliefs, be it Christianity, Islam, or any other religion. His armies were the most diverse ever recorded in history, and the most unified. Furthermore, he was not afraid to break from tradition and using family name as status. Instead, he placed the most competent for the position in charge. His greatest general, Sabbatai, had no royalty attached to his name, but rather proved his worth on the field of battle time and time again. From this, we can gather that he put his own ego aside, where he saw that it would prove to be an obstacle. He understood the ways of men and politics so that peace would remain after every invasion, and those that did not agree with his rule were ruthlessly disposed of to prevent any future problems. He was a man that sought to prevent problems before they could arise, and the greatest example of this was a decree he announced in the Bukhara. This legal code was called Yasa. Yasa was an oral law code that governed the Mongols and every land under its domain. It was a secret code created by Genghis to use as he saw fit depending on the situation. Where certain rules might work in China, others worked better in Persia. The Yasa was meant for three things: obedience to the Khan, binding together of the nomad clans, and punishment, no matter how merciless, of wrongdoing. It has a focus on people instead of property. However, there's much unknown about it as there's no actual documentation of it existing other than orally. It's believed that many of the decrees were there to eliminate disputes, be them social or economic. It was a set of rules that allowed all under his kingdoms to live in peace regardless of their ethnicity, beliefs, and way of life, so long as it fit within Yasa. Genghis's ability to adapt was unparalleled. Combine that with a conviction with his decision-making, and the only surprise is why he didn't conquer more. He himself said to his sons, "Life is short. I could not conquer all the world. You must do it." Keen organizational skills, the understanding of his fellow man, the ability to adapt, and the foresight to act instantly are the underlying traits we believe gave Genghis Khan his success in life. These are also traits we can certainly use in modern-day life to fulfill our potential. We hope that by learning about these ancient legends of history, that we are better able to live our lives today in a more successful manner.